The Perils of Permanent Marker. I'd learnt the previous day that the unit opposite mine was to be occupied, a single gent, and so I'd kept a lookout. I watched him from behind my lace curtains as he got out of the car, and instantly, and without a moment's hesitation, gave him a thumbs down. No man of our age should go for the 2-day stubble look. Far from looking fashionable, it just made him look old and scruffy. He was most unsuitable. And that was my last word, for I never changed my mind. So I didn't go across the next day to say hi and introduce myself. Churlish, I agree. But at my age, I'm entitled to be churlish if I want to, or so I tell myself. It must have been a few days later that I put out the message on our internal chat group. You see, every afternoon, I feed 3 dogs that have adopted our retirement community. Tipsy, Choo-Choo, and the very imaginatively named Blackie. All the rest of their food, the veg, the meat and the cooking, I manage myself. But I request people to contribute half or 1 kilo bags of rice. Available at the local store, they only have to say it's for the dogs. The storekeeper would give them the correct variety. He'd even deliver it to me. Most of the residents love the dogs. They're friendly and playful and people like to pat them. But very few want to put their hands in their pockets. That's okay, I understand. This is my cause. The next morning, I saw my new neighbor coming across with what looked like a 5-kilo bag. I noticed he was now clean-shaven, which was better, but didn't erase the black mark I'd placed against his name with permanent marker. I cautioned him starchily that I'd be asking every month, but he insisted he'd be most happy to contribute that much regularly, and if I ever needed any other support for a vet or anything, I should count on him. That was refreshingly generous. But my approval of dog lovers was not to be extended to him, I reminded myself. I noticed him hanging around when the dogs came for their feed. They responded to his whistles, running and leaping around him in circles, yipping and wagging their tails. I heard him chuckling over them. You look like a choo-choo, and you are indeed a bit tipsy. Which leaves you to be Blackie. Which was quick, since Blackie is a brown dog. The dogs evidently approved of him, which was unsettling for me, as I trust their judgment. To thank him for his generosity towards them, I decided to make him some of my savory cornflakes mixture. Even though I say so myself, my mixture is unmatched by any commercial product. Light as air and completely non-greasy, a sublime balance of sweet, salt and spice, the airy crunch of the flakes and the perfect counterpoint of the solidity of the peanuts and the chewiness of the copra. People are always asking when I'm making another batch. I need assistance for frying now because I can't move as fast as I once could and shouldn't take risks with large vessels of boiling oil, so it's a major operation. But in time, it was done. I bagged 2 packets and put them in a colorful paper bag and went across one mid-morning. I knew he was home, of course, but I rang the doorbell and waited. Oh, hello, says he, and invited me in. How lovely to have a visitor, and one bearing gifts, it appears. So I informed him that it was homemade and I hoped he'd enjoy it. He reached into the bag and pulled out a packet. And immediately I knew something was wrong. He went still and stared at it with his head down. I tried to be still myself. He lifted his head finally and looked at me with eyes brimming with tears. 3 years since my Sapna left me. But some things bring her back so strongly, it's almost painful. These were her favorite. And she would have a bowlful every evening, going crunch, crunch, crunch as we watched TV together. Some days I'd reach over and take a few bites and she'd slap my wrist. Go get your own bowl. I allow myself only so little every day. I can't be sharing even that with you. And then she'd go and get me a bowlful herself, and I'd scrupulously repay the bites I'd taken from her bowl, and she'd accept them laughingly, and harmony would be restored. I haven't been able to buy this cornflakes mixture since then. The tears finally spilling over and his breath ragged. I'm so deeply sorry. I stumbled over my slow feet in my haste to get to him. I'd take them away, I assured him. I hadn't intended to revive haunting memories. God knows we all lived with them. No, he insisted. How could I possibly have known? It was very kind of me, and he was going to take this as a signal from Sapna not to banish this innocent pleasure from his life. She was a great one for sending him signals, and this had all the hallmarks of her style, using the strict neighbor lady as a messenger. He would enjoy the snack on behalf of both of them from now on. I must not upset myself at all. I flushed guiltily at the mention of the strict neighbor lady and tried to protest about the mixture, but he was adamant. And so the matter was diplomatically dropped. We had tea together and talked about the dogs and how he was settling into the community, and I offered him any help I could give, being an older resident. And then I went back home across the street, feeling thoroughly chastened. It was so typical of me to have sentenced him so summarily, purely on the basis of a minor intransigence like grey stubble, and then to stick with that call even after he'd shaved it clean off. I'd always been too prone to snap judgments and then clinging to them in the face of contrary evidence. I was so moved that he permitted himself to be overwhelmed with loving memories of his wife in front of a total stranger. I strongly approved of loving couples. So now, you see, I need an eraser for my permanent marker, because I'm going to have to exercise my prerogative as a woman and change my mind. He has turned out to be most suitable after all.